everybody, and welcome. We are here to provide an update on the City of Woodstock's response to the COVID-19 or coronavirus situation. My name is Colin Ake. I'm a council member for Ward 3. I am joined today by two of our department directors. We have the Director of Parks and Recreation, Michael Huffstetler, and we have the Director of Economic Development, Brian Stockton. What we're going to try and do is just share a little bit of information about what the city's doing to respond appropriately to the coronavirus situation. I want to lead by saying if you don't have to get out, stay home, cancel social obligations, and spend some time indoors. It's important that we all take the time to flatten the curve, if you've seen that saying, and not get out as much as we can and be as far away from other folks as possible. With that said, I do want to dive into questions here. So Brian and Michael, it's so good to have y'all here this morning. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Excellent. Well, what are kind of the general, I've got some specific questions about some areas, but if y'all want to just kind of lead with just a general statement on what types of things your department has done or has been doing to respond, just something that gives an update.
Well, I can start with that. We have, I guess, staffing-wise, we have a lot of people teleworking, working from home. Some of the maintenance staff, their schedules have been extended through the weekends, so we have less people per day, but we're covering 7 days a week for the cleaning restrooms, sanitizing restrooms, and kind of just patrolling the parks, the trash, talking to the customers out there, maintaining distance, that kind of thing. The senior center is closed, and that will be tentatively right now is till April 13th. It's kind of a week-to-week decision. But other than that, we're kind of business as normal, working through special event cancellations and postponements and rescheduling those and trying to get the word out on the new dates whenever we get them.
Thanks, Michael. Brian, what about y'all? What's economic development been up to?
Yeah, I'd say much of the same. We're a very mobile friendly and remote department anyway. So all four of us are working from wherever we land, most of it at home, but also out supporting, the businesses that are conducting business. I know Sylvia's been out and collecting downtown dollars and trying to get money back to people for the redemption of those things. So we have been out in the community some, but trying to keep our distance like we're being asked to do.
Fantastic. And I know, Brian, you all have done a lot to work to promote takeout and online shopping for the businesses downtown as we try to balance, obviously, the need to spend less time physically together, but also we want to make sure that we're supporting the local businesses and the small businesses that exist in our city.
Right. We've created two what we call landing pages on visitwoodstockga.com, and they both feature kind of the takeout and delivery options of restaurants in the Woodstock area as they provide those to us. And I know it's an ever-changing, daily change sometimes. So I would caution you that if there's something on that website that you like, at least call or check that establishment's social media to see if it's still up to date as to what they're offering or what they're doing. But we really want you to, go out, get your food either delivered to you or go get it and go home, take the stuff and go home, but still support the local businesses that are there. And there was a nationwide movement last week called the Great American Takeout that somebody started. And I think that got good results locally, that we wanted to follow that up with our local online shopping options. And we created a local online shopping option also on that website where people who sell clothes or goods or stuff on their website or would like for you to help support them through this time by buying gift cards for future shopping. Those options are all there as well. So we also are doing a blog post probably every other week to give people an idea of some online local entertainment that they can do. We called that blog Social Distancing Like a Boss. And so there's entertainment options on there through Elm Street and local musicians and things we've had on our website for a long time for you to get some of that entertainment in while staying at home.
Yeah, it's cool to see all the different entertainment options pop up, especially for those with those local artists or local entertainment options. Elm Street's Helvetica Play, I know, has been online and available that way. and we've enjoyed takeout here as well. You know, we ate canyons in our kitchen last Tuesday as part of the Great American Takeout. So I know a bunch of restaurants have jumped on Uber Eats or Grubhub, and you can support them that way. And there will come a time when they will be glad to see your faces again. But I know they can sure appreciate the support now.
Right.
Michael, tell us a little bit about parks and trails. We've seen a lot of people with questions. I know there's been a lot of people outdoors enjoying the nice weather for the first time and the pollen. Are the parks and trails open?
Yeah, the trails are open. The parks are open. We have closed the playground and the fitness equipment at Dupree Park. But other than that, as of right now, everything is open. And the parks have been getting a lot of activity, a lot of users. So with that, you know, we want to recommend maintain your distance, avoid large gatherings, that kind of thing. If you visit our website, it's woodstockparksandrec.com. We have a big graphic on there with information from the National Recreation and Park Association, just guidelines on using parks and trails. It's good information. I think it was also on social media as well. But the biggest thing is to avoid the large crowds. If it's very packed and if the parking lot is full, just try to find somewhere else to go. There's other parks open nearby. Hiking the trails, kind of keep your distance, don't hike in big groups. The biggest thing I would say at Rope Mill Park is to pay attention to the directional signage, make sure you're walking the right direction. And that's gonna be very important now that there's a lot of users on the trail. We have mountain bikers and dog walkers and hikers. So we just want to be safe out there too, because that could lead to something other than getting close. So.
And those people walking or hiking do need to go the opposite direction from the bikes.
Need to go the opposite direction. Now, there are options out there that we can redirect traffic if we need to, but as of right now, mountain bikers go one direction, hikers go another direction. It switches every day. And at the beginning of each trail, there is signage that says which way to go. It's very, very important always to follow that, but especially now.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen a lot of, you know, encouragement out there, not just to deal with social distancing and make sure that we do maintain that distance from people, but also that activity is important, right? Keeping our bodies active, getting some cardio exercise is important as we work to stay healthy. I know the pollen's out there, that creates a whole separate set of challenges, but you know, it's great to see, I think, people in the parks using the parks, but we still have to follow those social distancing guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. There's not a lot of parks anyway for people to go to, and some in the area are closed. So you got to have somewhere to go. We have some pretty good parks with some good space. I would just ask people maintain the space a little bit better out there. No parties under our pavilions. If you're fishing, that's a good opportunity to stay close. I know people like to talk and fish at the same time. It's tough, I know, to balance it out. You know, I use the trails probably more than anybody in Woodstock and Ackworth, where I live at, and so does my entire family. So it's been a struggle on where we can go, how we can still exercise. We can't always just keep doing jumping jacks in our front yard. So we need to go walking, running, and biking, and if we can, wherever we can. So we get it, and we're open and available to people. We just need to be safe about it.
Yeah, and I think you know, we went out to Dupree Park and went on the beginner mountain bike trails there with my son on probably, was it Saturday night? Either Saturday or Sunday night. But you know, it was good to see people out there and using the parks. We do need to be careful about the social distancing. I think the thing that I've realized this weekend is working with social distancing, what we can do is control us, right? And how much we spend time close to others and cut that down. We can't control everybody else, but as long as our party is following the rules and everyone's focused on their party, that has an impact across the parks.
Right.
So, Michael, tell us about the event. I know y'all do, you know, I guess I should say, for those of you who don't know, Michael's department is responsible for the concerts. They're responsible for a ton of other events within the city. What has been the impact on events from this? What's canceled? What's postponed? What does that look like?
So right now, anything that we've had going on through April has been postponed. A couple events have canceled. But some of the bigger ones, we've already postponed the May 9th concert. I think right now it's July 31st is the tentative date for that one. No other big concerts right now have been canceled or postponed. They're going on as planned, and we're coordinating and working as they're happening until we hear otherwise. Some of these cancellations will come from the bands themselves, not necessarily us, which was the case with the Ultimate Queen Experience. They wanted to postpone, so we found a date for them. And like I said, all the senior center activities and trips and everything have been canceled right now through April 13th.
It's not just the activities and trips for the senior center; it's the center itself. Is that right?
Center itself, correct.
Yeah, and that's one of the most at-risk groups. So we're trying to do what we can to limit exposure and contact. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When do we know when it'll reopen? Is there it feels like there's not really a date, right?
Until we move further.
Okay.
The Green Stock Day and citywide yard sale, that has been postponed. I don't remember the date for that one. I think we're still working on it, but I know our special events coordinator has selected a couple dates that she's working with, and that's probably the biggest ones that we have that will be rescheduled. Our in-house programming and events like Amped in the Park, we just canceled those. We don't need to worry about postponing as much.
Yeah. Well, and the best way people can follow up on those dates is probably to jump on social media and follow the City of Woodstock or follow the Parks and Rec accounts, because there are updates to those, and we want to make sure that when they do happen, that everyone can take advantage of Green Stock Day and recycle.
Yeah, they're updated as we know, and then on the website as well.
Fantastic. Well, Brian, we talked a little bit about dining in the restaurants, not dining in the restaurants, but taking your food to go and coming home and eating it. Talk to us about the operations that people are putting forward to try to help the hospitality workers. I know that the hospitality workers have been impacted fairly dramatically by the slowdown in activity.
Yeah, we almost immediately started brainstorming ideas of how to sort of help them outside of the federal, unemployment help and things like that. That's out there, and trying to connect people who reached out to us and see what the best way of doing that is. And we found a Facebook group called I just had it pulled up here. Let me get it again so people can go check it out. But it's the Downtown Woodstock Food Industry Support Group that actually was started by one of the food industry workers downtown. And we connected them with a local t-shirt company that started making Support Woodstock t-shirts and wanted to direct the proceeds of those sales back to groups that are helping locally. And so that's all sort of been put together. They've got a GoFundMe. It's a completely independent group. They're trying to work across all the restaurants in downtown to help get funding back to the people that work there. And I think it's just a neat community to see come out of this. The other thing, this one isn't really a fundraiser group, but the Socially Distant Fest on Facebook is also something that I didn't realize this. I guess I sort of realized when there were a lot of local people in it to begin with, but that thing has grown around the world and was started by one of the food workers here at Queenie's. And it's just been a really neat kind of thing to see how you can get out there and again stay at home and be entertained by both local people and people from around the world doing their thing on Facebook. So it's been neat to see the kind of the community support that's happened over social media as everybody's kind of learning how to grasp this and deal with it.
Yeah, it's been fun to see the Socially Distance Fest grow. If y'all jump on there, it's a great way to kind of watch some music, grab your favorite beverage and sit around with your roommate or family and enjoy something in the evening. We've done that a couple times. Well, Brian, tell us about the events that y'all host, because I know y'all do a ton of events across Woodstock too. Basically, if it's a Woodstock event and it's not run by Parks and Rec, it's probably run by Brian's office. So.
Yeah, so we've got the networking events that we do through in Woodstock. We've canceled or postponed them all through April 30th as well. And the Taste of Woodstock was the big event that we had coming up in April that we'll look at rescheduling that probably for late summer, early fall, when we can get back together and enjoy all the food offerings that we've got. Friday Night Live this week is going to be canceled. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of things going on downtown, so maybe we can look at doing a virtual Friday Night Live, which might be a neat idea. And I think there's one more I was going to mention. Oh, farmers market. We are working right now to try to get the farmers market vendors kind of out there so people can do delivery and pick up from them if they've got goods that are available for that. So I think in the next week or two, you'll see a way of being able to support them. It's probably going to officially be postponed to mid-May start instead of mid-April start, but we'll work with the vendors who have product to try to get that and make it available to people who want it here in the next week or so.
That's great, Brian. I know the soap people will probably be very popular this year.
Yeah.
Well, so this whole thing is certainly going to impact travel to and from Woodstock. I know fewer people are traveling in general. We've had a couple trips cancel ourselves. That impacts the folks here in the travel industry or that benefit from the travel industry. Brian, your office is in charge of destination marketing efforts. What's the impact to y'all, and how do we help the travel industry during this time?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question that I don't know that I have an answer to. We've signed on to letters to Congress, to letters with the National Travel Association, things like that, to request federal help to help get those, both the destinations and the hotels and even all the way down to small business owners who you may not think of as being vital to visitation from outsiders or whatnot, but they all are. It's what makes Woodstock unique, is the unique, eating establishments, shopping establishments that we have, and also our bigger destinations like the outlet mall. So yeah, it runs full gamut. I know some of our hotels have decided to close during all of this. Some of them are offering special rates to medical workers and hospitals if they need it. They're all trying to figure that out themselves. Once we start seeing what they need, when we're a little bit further down the road as to how the recovery is going to look and whatnot, we're ready to jump back in and start marketing as soon as we can to get people back here.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Brian, tell us a little bit more. I know y'all do communications out of your office too. It's economic development, communications, destination marketing. You do a whole bunch of stuff, but what are y'all working on right now to make sure that the public is well informed and understands what Woodstock's doing to help respond?
Yeah, that's been interesting. Stacey's taken that on and is working pretty much full time, 24/7 on the best way to communicate with people. We're just trying to give the best information we can that's being handed down by the state, by the CDC, by the Department of Public Health, the people who know what they're talking about, and how we can help disseminate that on a local level while still trying to balance the
right.
The needs of the local community. And I think for the most part, we've gotten very positive feedback and things like that on how we're disseminating information. I think these conversations are a great way of doing that. And we'll just keep at it. I'm trying to stay out of her way and just, let her do her thing. So, yeah.
Well, thanks to you and to her for taking that on, Stacey. I know you'll watch this video as it goes up. We appreciate what you're doing and the time it takes to make sure that we're communicating clearly. Well, I think that kind of gets to the end of my questions. Is there anything y'all want to tack on before we close?
I don't have anything.
Cool.
I'll be out in the parks. I'll see everybody.
We'll see y'all in the parks. Stay, please, far enough away from other people that we can continue to keep those parks open and that we can continue to offer those as an option for people needing to get some exercise. I'll close this by saying stay home. I'm working from home. If you can work from home, if you can be home, please choose to do so. It's important that we all take efforts to try to slow the growth or slow the rate of growth of this thing. And, let us know what we can do to help you. The city of Woodstock can't change how everybody behaves, but we can take steps to try to make sure the public health is assured. So, y'all, Brian, Michael, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Yep. And everyone watching, thanks for taking the time as well. And we'll catch y'all online soon.
Thanks, Colin.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.